The U, no titles. The basketball team, on the other hand, has been a pleasant surprise. Since Jim Larrañaga arrived to coach this team 5 years ago, they've been to the Sweet 16 of the NCAA tournament. They've won 25 games in a season and now stand one win from their 20th victory this season. But the best thing Larrañaga has done in his half-decade on the job is bringing aboard our next guest. It's our pleasure to welcome Angel Rodriguez inside SportsCenter tonight. He's a graduate transfer. He's the Hurricanes' go-to guy. First things first, my man, you left Puerto Rico, great personal story, at the age of 15 to move to the United States to pursue basketball. What was it like leaving it all behind? Your mom was there and you said, that's it, I'm taking a leap.
Yes, well, first, thanks for having me. And as you said, it was just like that. It happened very quick. I remember it was summertime. I was 15 years old, and, you know, the opportunity came up, and I mentioned it to her. At first, she thought I was, you know, crazy, given the fact that, like I said, I was 15 years old. And then she consulted it with my grandparents, who also play a big role in my life. And with that being said, she knew it was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And if she didn't say yes, it was, you know, who knows what I would have been right now. At the time, she was very sad, very depressed, I could say. But now she's so proud and so happy of her decision of her son, because I'm doing well, thank God.
Yes, you certainly are. You always had a good head on your shoulders. You knew if you wanted to play college basketball, you had to move here to the United States to make it happen. And Mom relented, and I think overall it's been a great decision. So you go from Puerto Rico, then you head over to Miami, and then after that, you end up at Kansas State initially. What kind of culture shock was that? Puerto Rico, Miami, Manhattan, Kansas?
From Puerto Rico to Miami wasn't a big shock. You know, the weather is the same, a lot of Hispanic people. But once I got to Kansas, that's when everything began to hit me, especially during Christmas. Not only I was very, very far from my family, but the weather, all the snow. I have never seen snow in my life before. And you know, I go from a very, very warm temperature to freezing. The food, there was no longer Spanish places that I can go buy my favorite food, and just a whole lot of things that, you know, at a young age, being away from home played a big role in me.
Yeah, all the things you take for granted, just waking up, buying this, buying that, suddenly it's not there. But listen, yeah, you had a ton of success at Kansas State. You were great. Frank Martin and you really put something together there. And you met Coach Martin while you were living in Miami. So what was the decision like to transfer? Because you wanted to come here and succeed, and you were, and then you said, I want to go. Why?
Well, at first, my mom was struggling. You know, she was going through tough times. And, you know, I felt like I needed to get close to her, and she told me she wished I was closer. And immediately I put family first over everything, and that was basically the reason why I had to transfer to Miami, which was the closest place to home.
Let's talk a little bit about your mom. Your mom doesn't speak any English, but obviously at the time she didn't speak any English, and you were making all these moves. And she was a huge, huge part of your life in making this decision. I heard a great story that when you made your visit to Miami to decide if this is going to be the right place, that Coach Larrañaga had your mom there and had an interpreter there so she could understand and experience everything you were going to go through. What was that moment like?
I tell you, it was very special. I think, you know, a coach, if there was anything a coach can tell a player, I don't think anything they said would have been, or coach said would have been better than treating my mom the way they treated her. It's pretty usual for kids to be treated in a special way, given the fact they want you to go to their school. But when Coach Larrañaga made sure that my mom was involved, because as you said, she speaks no English, and he made sure to get somebody who can translate everything, just so that she can feel very comfortable and part of the conversation and part of the visit. I think that played such a big role in my decision, and certainly it made her feel very, very comfortable. She went back home and she was just so happy because she knew how I was going to be treated here.
Yeah, she's happy. Usually when kids are happy, mom is definitely happy as a result. Before I let you go, I mentioned Coach Martin. Coach Martin's actually going to be joining us here on SportsCenter in just a little while. As you know, he's doing a pretty good job down there at South Carolina. But everybody needs somebody, especially like somebody like yourself that's coming over, doesn't know anybody in this country. You got to be able to latch on to somebody. And for you, that was Coach Martin. Where do you think you would be right now if it wasn't for Coach Frank Martin spotting you in Miami, taking you to Kansas State, and putting you on the stage you eventually now are on?
You know, I'm very thankful that I happened to play a year for him. I think he's taught me how to be a man, you know, at a young age. But, you know, things happen in life, and he happened to make a better decision for himself. And he left to South Carolina. And I happened to make a better decision for myself, getting close to home to my family. And with that being said, that's how I met Coach L. And I think, you know, as much as Frank and everybody who's played an important role in my life has been, I think Coach L has been the person. I think he's taught me how to, you know, not only be a good player and be a good teammate, but how to be a successful person off the court. He's, you know, he's just a loving and very caring person. And I think for me, you know, especially I'm far away from home. I wanted to have that kind of father figure with me, and he's always hugging me and every player. He's always hugging us, laughing with us, talking to us. And that's the type of person I wanted to have. With Frank, I had it for 1 year. And with Coach L, I've had it for 2.5. It's going to be 3, and I'm very, very thankful for that.
Coach L, Coach Larrañaga, your man down in Miami, this is a terrific story. The only thing that could make it better is if you and Coach L happen to see Coach Martin in the NCAA tournament. The way it's going, both of you are going to be there. That would be something else. What a great, great story you shared with us tonight. Really appreciate it. Best of luck the rest of the season, Angel.